impressed by their service. Legacy Box is a way for you to easily and affordably digitally preserve your past. The process from start to finish is so easy. Get back perfectly preserved digital copies on a thumb drive, DVD, or the cloud, ready to watch, share, and enjoy. Plus, they keep you up to date with regular email updates throughout the digitizing process. Win the Favorite Kid Award this Mother's Day and give Mom a present she'll never forget. For a limited time, Legacy Box is running 50% off Mother's Day special. Order your Legacy Box today to take advantage of this incredible offer. This is one of the best discounts they've ever offered. Go to legacybox.com/Kirk. Save 50% while supplies last. That's legacybox.com/Kirk.
Hi, it's Sean Thompson. You've probably seen the stories that some big box retailers are caving under the pressure from the progressives, also known as neo-Marxists, to take MyPillow products off their shelf. By now, you've all heard me talk about MyPillow and how Mike has done it again by introducing his new My Slippers. Mike has taken over 2 years to develop. They are designed to wear indoors and outdoors all day long. My Slippers are made from MyPillow foam and impact gel to help prevent fatigue, and made with quality leather and suede. I have the suede ones, love them. For a limited time, Mike is offering 40% off his new My Slippers. You can show your support for this great American company by ordering. Don't let cancel culture win. At MyPillow.com, you'll also find deep discounts on all MyPillow products, including the Giza Dream Bed Sheets, MyPillow Mattress Topper, and MyPillow Towel Sets. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the Radio Listeners Square, and use my promo code LIBERTY. Or call 800-489-0201, and don't forget to use my promo code LIBERTY.
News, opinion, insight. This is AM560 The Answer. WIND Chicago. Streaming at 560theanswer.com. On the AM560 mobile app. Tune in, iHeart, and on Odyssey.
The dark side of cyberspace. I'm Mary Corsetti, Fox News. The shutdown of the pipeline that carries gasoline and other fuel from Texas to the Northeast stretched into a third day Sunday. The cyber extortion attempt that forced the shutdown of a vital U.S. pipeline was carried out by a criminal gang known as Dark Side that cultivates a Robin Hood image of stealing from corporations and giving a cut to charity. That's according to two people close to the investigation. The White House says they're working to restore operations. Plus, a gunman opened fire at a birthday party in Colorado, slaying 6 adults before killing himself Sunday. Police say the shooting happened just after midnight in a mobile home park on the east side of Colorado Springs. This as a shooting in New York City's Times Square on Saturday in broad daylight led to innocent bystanders being shot.
Shots rang out between 2 to 4 people. A police officer was carrying a 4-year-old girl who had been shot in the leg. What started out as a day for her of shopping for toys with her parents ended up with her in surgery. A 23-year-old female tourist from Rhode Island was also shot, as well as a 43-year-old woman. Now, this shooting in the heart of Manhattan is one of the most commonly visited tourist spots in the world, and it comes just as the city rolls out its official reopening. The NYPD released the photo of the person of interest. Mayor Bill de Blasio commented that police will make arrests. But other mayoral candidates say that's not enough. Eric Adams calling for greater action to curb this violence.
Fox's Alex Hogan. And police fatally shot a man after he drove through a police station in central Massachusetts early Sunday morning.
At 6:13 a.m., a man drove an SUV through the closed doors of the Leicester Police Department. He repeatedly rammed those doors until he gained entry with his vehicle into the building.
Worcester District Attorney Joseph Early Jr. says it appears to be an isolated incident. 2 officers have been placed on administrative leave. America is listening to Fox News.
Please allow me to introduce you to Salem Surround Chicago. This is where we call home, and this is where we help businesses like yours succeed with digital marketing. Yes, a digital marketing agency right here in Chicago that helps you use the latest digital technology to stay in touch with current customers and reach new potential customers. Now, don't let the words digital marketing and digital advertising scare you. You may have heard some of the terminology and couldn't make heads or tails of it. That's why Salem Surround Chicago is here, with a local person you can talk to about the tools your business needs to know about and use to succeed in today's crazy marketplace. Let us show you how cost-efficient digital advertising can be and design a plan that targets and surrounds customers with proven marketing strategies. Contact Salem Surround Chicago at surroundchicago.com for a free evaluation of your marketing plan and to explore the digital marketing landscape. We're right here in Chicago and ready to talk about getting your business to the next level. Surroundchicago.com. Start your career today. The Illinois Army National Guard could pay up to 100% of your tuition at any Illinois state-funded university or community college. You'll also support your community in Illinois during emergencies and natural disasters as you serve part-time in the Guard. Learn more at nationalguard.com. That's nationalguard.com. Sponsored by the Illinois Army National Guard. Aired by the Illinois Broadcasters Association and this station.
Safer USA, Chicago's most trusted name in firearm training, is offering beginners classes, tactical pistol and rifle, long-range rifle to 600 yards, and the most comprehensive Illinois concealed carry program available. AM560 On Target Radio co-hosts David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz will prepare you to carry a firearm for personal protection, including firearm, holster, and ammunition selection. A comprehensive law review designed to keep you out of trouble and even how to deal with home invasions. Firearm, ammunition, holster, class notebook are provided. Safer USA and the Aurora Sportsman's Club invites you to participate in this one-of-a-kind Illinois concealed carry program that also qualifies you for Florida, Utah, and Arizona non-resident permits. Find out what over 6,000 students already know at saferusa.com.
Or call 815-741-3474. That's 815-741-3474. Safer USA. Choosing to own a firearm is your business. Teaching you to own it responsibly is ours.
For over 50 years, Matomic Corporation has been supplying brass and aluminum components to numerous industries, including lamp and lighting, furniture display, and point of purchase. From 500 parts to 10,000, from stock parts to custom, Matomic is your source for brass or aluminum screw machine parts. When you contact this family-owned business, you're directly in touch with a manufacturing expert that can guide you towards the best and most economical solution. Matomic Corporation. Go to capsandstandoffs.com. capsandstandoffs.com.
AM560 The Answer. This live program is sponsored by Safer USA OT Media Group. It's time for On Target Radio, Chicagoland's only radio show dedicated to the red meat issues that affect your life, from gun control to freedom of speech. Now, debating, debunking, and discussing today's hot issues. Here are your hosts, David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz.
Welcome to On Target Radio. Well, I normally write it open and I have it all prepared and everything, and tonight I just didn't have time, so...
We'll do it live! F*** it! Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
That's right. We'll do it live. So first of all...
And we'll fix it in post.
And we'll fix it in post, exactly. That's how we do things around here. So first of all, happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. Happy Mother's Day to my mother, who sometimes listens to our show, even though she might not always agree with it. Tonight we're going to be talking about one unsuspecting village and some positive concealed carry news, what the FBI is doing with computer networks, and Trump's in trouble with Facebook again. So to participate in tonight's show, call our studio at 312-642-5600. Watch and like us on Facebook, or watch and subscribe on YouTube on Target Radio.
Well, that was good considering it was, you wrote it walking down the hallway.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Which is actually ahead of what I have been doing. This is here's a word to the wise. If you're going to bring a radio script and headphones and everything into a restaurant,
take it with you.
It's probably a good idea.
When you go.
Yeah, take it with you when you leave.
Yeah,
so,
luckily we were
remain nameless.
Pretty close to the restaurant.
Yeah.
I was wondering.
The restaurant was pretty close to the radio station, so it wasn't too far to go back and get it.
And as you pointed out, it's fortunate that we tipped her well, because
that was
otherwise it would have been. No, I don't.
You guys kind of trail me a little bit usually in the drive, and then you guys like really hung back. Like, what is going on there? Are you guys fighting in the car? What's going on?
He looks in his rearview mirror, and we're suddenly gone.
They're in the right lane, and they're like gone now. Like, do I need to come back? Do you guys need backup? What's going on?
Well, the good thing is that we knew there were no police cars shooting radar on that
there was
return
one
trip.
Actually.
Was there?
Yeah, there was one.
Who's that knocking on the station door in a uniform? Yeah. Interestingly, Tucker Carlson has did his homework and basically came to the same conclusion that we had thought since day one about the COVID shot.
Right. Yeah, it's funny because I read this article and the writing is just, it's so Tucker Carlson. I had his voice in my head the whole time I was reading it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I cannot do an imitation of Tucker Carlson, so you will not be treated to that. But basically, he did, in essence, a rant on his show a few days ago. And he's saying that the government is not really being forthcoming about how many people are dying because of the COVID vaccine. Let's be clear, not because of COVID, but the vaccine.
Exactly.
And so there is a system, and I think we talked about this last week or 2 weeks ago, called VAERS, Vaccine Adverse Events Reporting System. That is run by the CDC and the FDA. And I think it's on the CDC website. And so these are official reports. I don't think anybody can just go on there and make a report. I think it has to come from a doctor. And in the past, this system has been criticized as reporting maybe like only 1% of the adverse reactions. So basically anything could be like multiplied by a factor of 100, basically, that, you know, but the problem is we just don't know. They have done nothing to make it more accurate. They have done nothing to clarify, to say anything about what kind of numbers. But what we can say for sure is that compared to other vaccines that are pre-existing, the COVID vaccine, the number of people that are dying from other vaccines is very small. Like he says every flu season we give influenza shots to more than 160 million Americans, and every year a relatively small number of people seem to die after getting those shots. In 2019, that number was 203. The year before, it was 119. So, you know, there is a risk of death, of extreme adverse reactions with any medication.
Any shot, really.
Yeah, anything. Yeah. But the problem is, in only about 4 or 5 months, that over 3,000 people have died from the COVID vaccine.
It's just closer to 4.
That's
Bringing
well, right. So
yeah.
from late December of 2020 to April, so probably about 4.5 months, a total of 3,362 people had apparently died after getting the COVID vaccine, which he calculated came out to about 30 people every day. So then if you multiply that up to when he did this rant on May 6th, he said we're probably closer to 3,700 deaths now. And so that's a lot higher than with other vaccines that were pre-existing this vaccine.
You're listening to On-Target Radio. This is AM560 The Answer. Give us a call, 312-642-5600. Have you gotten your COVID shot? Let me see the hands of all the people in here who have gotten their COVID shot. I'm sorry. No. George is giving us a single-digit number. You had one on your hand?
It's a general look of apathy.
Oh, I see.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to be in line to get that anytime soon. And, we're not hearing about these deaths. We hear about some adverse reactions and some people having like a rash or something like that, or, pain in their arm or something like that. But, they really, really, really want people to get this vaccine.
Right.
They're doing everything they can.
And a couple of weeks ago,
to downplay it.
A couple of weeks ago, they did finally report. There were a bunch of women who had gotten the Johnson vaccine, and a bunch of women have gotten blood clots from
right.
it. And then a number of those people died from those blood clots.
And did you see a picture of that woman who just literally blew up? I mean, she just swollen up. She was covered with red hives or something.
I saw that picture, but I mean, again, it's so hard to believe what you see on social media or the news anymore. I don't know when that picture was taken or where it came from.
Well, that's all. I mean, that's true with pretty much everything. But, you look, here's the thing about social media. If you look at an aggregate, if you look at all the different sources that are saying basically the same thing, it's one thing if you go to the Boston, whatever the heck it was. I never remember. I blocked the name of
the
that.
Boston Times.
Don't go there
The
anymore.
Boston what?
Times,
yeah, and then you immediately go on the air and report a story, and the phones light up, going, "You're an idiot." That's uncomfortable. But if you look at a multiple of sources, I think it's reasonable to make the assumption it's probably okay.
Well, and so then he also points out that besides the 3,000 plus people who've died, there's other problems. About 900 non-fatal heart attacks have happened after people received the shot. 2,700 people reported unexplained chest pain. And in all, the vaccine appears to have contributed to at least 8,000 hospitalizations. That's not chump change. I mean, that's a significant number. Tinnitus reports are like through the roof.
But you don't want that.
Yeah,
It's not fun.
I think
Tell me about it.
I know a whole bunch of people who have it. It sounds horrible.
It is horrible.
Women aged 18 to 34 had a higher rate of deep vein thrombosis than men of the same age, and that's not even unique to the blood clots they were talking about was just Johnson & Johnson, and this is just generalized. I mean, they're not even being specific of which company's vaccine. Heart attacks were common in people aged 85 and older.
You have to remember that this disease is like 90-some% not fatal.
Yeah, I mean, over 99% of the people are surviving it. Anaphylaxis and appendicitis were more common in young people. So this is pretty extreme. And if these numbers seem small, think about this. He says, what's different this time is the reaction to these numbers. In 1976, the U.S. government vaccinated 45 million people with a vaccine for the swine flu. 53 people reportedly died after getting that shot. Because of those 53 people dying, the U.S. government halted the vaccination program, and they said it was too risky, it wasn't worth it. Right. And now, over 3,000 people die, and they go, no, keep doing it, keep going.
You know what? Anything that Bill Gates says you need to do, you take it. Did you see that he and Melinda are divorcing?
Yes, I did.
And the reason for that, the reason for that is Gates said you have to get the COVID shot, and she goes, bye.
She goes, you're done injecting stuff into me.
That's it. Injecting, yes. Yeah. You're done injecting stuff. He was probably done injecting stuff a long time ago. But yeah, it's whenever the government makes a big issue out of doing something for your best interest.
Well, like the fluoride in the water, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we put fluoride in the water for your teeth. Since when does the government care about my teeth?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
See, that's Dr. Strangelove.
So it's funny that you mentioned Bill Gates, because this Tucker Carlson also said Yahoo News published a piece entitled "Joe Rogan, who's not a doctor, gives terrible vaccine advice." That's the same Yahoo News that published the piece 5 Things Bill Gates Wants You to Know About COVID-19 Variant.
All right, we have to take a break. That ends that story. We got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Trump. He's back in Facebook jail again. So we'll be all that and more. We'll return with more on Target Radio. And you are listening to AM560.
The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson.
Maybe somebody could ask Miss Alvarez what her 22-year-old son was doing. Why did he flee police? Why did he have a gun? Like Robert in Schaumburg.
I watched the whole video. This guy got what he deserved. You know, he needed to be put down, but he doesn't need to lay on the ground and die.
We're talking about a human being.
Start your day with Chicago's Morning Answer. Weekday mornings starting at 5 on AM560. The Answer.
Do you like your gun range bag? There's a really cool local company here in Chicagoland that makes the finest range bags anywhere. And these quality range bags are so inexpensive that I bet you won't hesitate to buy one. The Hackett range bags from Hackett Equipment have it all. There are compartmentalized pouches that hold 2 or 4 pistols, ammo, mags, and even targets. Basically everything you need for a day at the range in a stealth design that doesn't resemble a range bag. Nobody will know you're carrying firearms. Additionally, they're super heavy duty and will last a lifetime because Hackett bags are 30% heavier than typical range bags. And the price is unreal. The large pack is under $100 and the small one under $80. But if you visit gunrangebags.com and use the promo code AM560, you'll save an additional 10%. Hackett Equipment bags really are range bags that can hack it. That's gunrangebags.com, promo code AM560. Gunrangebags.com. Do it now.
Did you miss the open enrollment this year? I can help you purchase a PPO health insurance plan all year long that eliminates the mandatory maternity coverage. This is Tom Marabali, and if you're 50 years old and are covered by the Affordable Care Act, you're paying for maternity coverage whether you want the coverage or not. The least expensive ACA PPO health insurance plan is $540 per month with a total out-of-pocket cost of $8,550 before your bills are paid at 100%. I can eliminate the mandatory maternity coverage and lower your monthly premium down to $273 per month with a total out-of-pocket cost of $2,500 before your bills are paid at 100%. That's a savings of $6,050 in total out-of-pocket cost per person with my lower deductible, and you save $267 per month with my lower premiums. For a free quote and to see if you qualify, call me, Tom Marabali, at 630-863-3477. That's 630-863-3477.
Balance of Nature's fruits and vegetables in a capsule, changing the world one life at a time.
I've been taking Balance of Nature for several years, and I've recommended it to many, many people, and they're all taking it now. I think it's great for your mind clarity, aches and pains, and sleeping. I'm not getting sick. It really makes so much difference. I'm just scared not to have it right now. I try to eat a good balanced diet to be healthy, but you can't get all the nutrients you need. So this is insurance for me. And I think it's made a huge difference. I think this is so important. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Get a wide variety of all your daily recommended servings of whole fruits and vegetables without having to leave your home. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code Chicago.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM560 The Answer with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life. To participate, call the studio at 312-642-5600.
There's a rumor that the bet is on that Trump will actually be in Facebook lockup longer than he was president.
Knowing the amount of people that actually got totally kicked off of Facebook, I could totally see that happening.
Yeah. Have you noticed the interesting thing that all these social outlets and the news, just the news in general, always refer to him as the former
President Trump.
They don't do that with any other president.
Right. They don't say that about Obama.
Of course not.
No, President Barack
Obama.
Right.
Only with Trump.
I've noticed that.
Yeah.
I have very much noticed that, yes.
It's part of the typical liberal erase history type thing. And they all do it. Every one of the liberal media outlets does it.
Yeah. It's really annoying. But anyway, so there is an oversight board that Facebook just established in 2019, and its rulings on community standards are binding. So this is interesting. It's not all Americans that serve on this board. It's only 25% Americans, and then the other people are from different parts of the world. And they're actually experts, law professors, human rights advocates, journalists, other professionals with backgrounds in areas ranging from constitutional law to technology regulation. So it's not just like man on the street type. It's not just average Joe. So I thought that was actually good. And the interesting thing is they kind of slapped Facebook a little bit. They kind of said they were wrong about what they're doing to President Trump. They basically suspended his accounts in January, after January 6th, and it just indefinitely just said it's not like Facebook jail that they put some other people in for 2 days or 30 days or whatever. They just said indefinitely they're suspending his accounts. And this review board is saying that they disagree with that. They don't think that the indefinite time frame of the suspension was appropriate, and they sent it back to Facebook and they said, you guys have to follow your own established procedures on this. That you did not follow the established procedures of like suspending somebody, putting them in Facebook jail for like 24 hours, 48 hours, whatever they normally do.
Right.
They didn't do that. And so they're sending it back to them to review it and come up with a more reasonable, defined sort of suspension for that. I think it's also interesting. It says, in most cases the board has ruled on so far, it has overturned Facebook's decision to remove content.
I saw that. I like that.
Yeah, I think it's great that they established this board and it's kind of blowing up in their face a little bit.
Right, because, I'm sure they handpicked the board. Now, the board did agree that Trump supposedly, and this all revolves around the January 6th Capitol riots, supposedly severely violated Facebook terms of service, which I didn't see anything on there that would lead me to believe that. And I know there's a lot of people that are still trying to pin those riots on Trump, that he did it or he encouraged it or whatever. But honestly, I'd love to see these posts that they're claiming that he severely violated the terms of service, because I don't think that actually happened.
This article says that they don't like where he said, "We love you, you're very special," referring to the people who were rioting, like he said it on that day. And he called them great patriots, telling them to remember this day forever. They're saying that violated Facebook's rules that prohibit praise of people engaged in violence.
And yet, what did the Democrats say about Antifa and the BLM people who were burning cities to the ground?
Exactly.
And did he specifically call out, hey, rioters, I love you, this is what you should be doing? He was referring to the group of people, which we've discussed before, that were mostly peaceful, that were all there to show support, and not necessarily the small group of people that involved some Antifa
and it was in
that
two
were there to cause trouble.
Right, it was in two different locations,
Exactly.
too. So, they went from, some of the people went from his speech, it was like in a park or something, and then they went to the Capitol from there. So it was two different time periods, two different locations. So, yeah, I don't know if it is clear, but
it's totally grasping.
That's what
I
they're
see it as.
That's what they're saying. This says the board found that in maintaining an unfounded narrative of electoral fraud and persistent calls to action, Mr. Trump created an environment where a serious risk of violence was possible.
You're listening on Target Radio, and this is AM560 The Answer. Give us a call, 312-642-5600. The beginning of that so-called riot in the Capitol overlapped with Trump's speech. So Trump's supporters have not even left that area yet.
Right.
And we have video proof. We have sworn affidavits. I've seen the video. It was on the internet of white vans pulling up and these Antifa guys getting off dressed in pro-Trump looking stuff and marching out there. The Democrats are wonderful at staging this stuff. They've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
And this is yet another example. There's a video of a pro-Trump guy who was there at the time yelling at the cops, "Why aren't you calling for backup? Why are you letting this happen?" Have you seen that?
They were, yeah.
They were trying to stop people from doing that sort of stuff.
Now, to play devil's advocate, I'm not going to say that zero Trump supporters were involved in this, because we know in any group there's the margin of error, right?
Yeah.
The end of the gene pool that needs more bleach.
And some people have admitted that they got swept up in the moment.
Yeah, and I'm sure that happened, or they thought that it was happening, but that's what they like to do. They like to plant these people in there to incite these extra activities.
Right.
Yeah, somebody will be, milling around, like the woman hanging on the window. Somebody said, "Go on, go," which got her killed, of course. But yeah.
We got your back. Yeah, they're pointing guns at you, but we got your back. It's okay.
There was an amazing amount of disinformation that was being distributed during all this. Very cleverly coordinated. You remember, I said this, the guy wearing the bison hat and all that stuff, I said, he's an Army Ranger. Remember my saying that?
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
That was what was out. There was an Army general who will go nameless, but an Army general who said that's who it was. This guy was an Army Ranger, and he was in undercover doing that. It wasn't true, but that's pretty carefully coordinated disinformation to put that stuff out like that.
Now, have we had any reports of Facebook actually taking down the platform for this to go on during that time, or blocking their people from it? Maybe they're complacent in this.
Well,
no, they wouldn't do
honestly.
that.
Yeah.
Interrupt the truth?
That's
They can't do
a
that.
question. But yeah, so this woman is the co-chair, Hella Thorning-Schmidt, and she said the group was basically telling Facebook they can't just invent new unwritten rules when they find it convenient. And the other co-chair, Michael McConnell, said it's far from the first time Facebook has made up ad hoc rules. So I just think it's so sweet that they established this board. And they're slapping them.
The problem is they established the board, and if you look at it, it was actually like people that are pretty intellectual. I mean, not that those couldn't be liberals, but they actually picked like constitutional lawyers and things like that. So, it could only slap them in the face, really.
Well, right. If they are liberal, they're being pretty fair. It sounds like as far as saying, yes, this violated Facebook's written rules, but then the manner in which he was punished, it does not follow their written rules.
I could see Facebook trying to stock it with people who are kind of midstream just to kind of make it look like they're being fair and then hope that they would go their way. And
so I was going to say, that's a good point. bear in mind that prior to this actually happening, Gates and a bunch of other people, the guy who runs Twitter, Facebook, and I forget the other one, were called before Congress. And did you see those hearings? They grilled them. I mean, they grilled them hard. They wanted to know how many times the president has been bumped off. They really grilled them hard. So I'm not at all surprised that Zuckerberg at some point goes, we got to get because the next step, if they continue this, and we've talked about this before, they've become a public conveyance. Yeah, they may be privately owned, but they've become a public conveyance. And when you cross that line, like the telephone company did years ago, the government just walks in and says, you're done. We're taking over. And that would be the next step here. So I can see Zuckerberg going, oh, man, I'm not going to lose my empire if I don't clean up something.
So last night I made a big mistake, or I think it might have been a big mistake. And I was on Facebook while I was trying to fall asleep, and this thing popped up of Facebook wants you to take a survey about Facebook. And I probably shouldn't have done it, but I did. I clicked on it, and I started answering the questions. And a lot of the questions were about, what do you believe about COVID-19? What do you believe about the vaccine? And there was they said right at the beginning, you can skip over any question you don't want to answer. You can exit out at any point. I'll finish the story when we come back.
And I thought you were going to say that you sold all your Dogecoin or something like that before when it crashed.
A tip-off, huh? We got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Orland Park. If you're from that area, you'll want to hear this. All that and more with On Target Radio. And you are listening to AM560, The Answer.
We know you already like listening to AM560 The Answer, but now, if you listen to us online, you could win a $200 Amazon gift card. Pretty cool. Just listen to AM560's online stream in any of the ways that are available at 560theanswer.com, on the AM560 mobile app, through your smart speaker, or through iHeart, TuneIn, or Odyssey. When you listen, you'll learn how to enter to win. It's that easy. Stream, listen, and win.
News, I'm Sal Giangrasso. The unthinkable at a birthday party.
A day of celebration becomes a horrible tragedy. A gunman opened fire at a birthday party in Colorado Springs, killing 6 adults before taking his own life. The suspect was the boyfriend of a female victim. Children at the party were not hurt. Police have not released the identities of the killer or the victims. A motive not known at this time.
Fox's John Scott. And a Maryland man went on a weekend rampage, shooting or stabbing 3 of his neighbors to death and setting his home on fire before police killed him. The cyber extortion attempt that forced the shutdown of a vital U.S. pipeline was carried out by a criminal gang known as Darkside that seeks a Robin Hood image of stealing from corporations and giving a cut to charity. The Biden administration says efforts are underway to restore operations and avoid energy supply disruptions. America is listening to Fox News.
Hard drives fail. Viruses destroy data. Having a copy of your work, photographs, financial records, and other important files is one step in a thorough backup plan. Geekometrics offers a secure online solution by placing a copy of your data off-site where it's safe from theft, fire, and unauthorized access. Losing photos and financial information is devastating. Geekometrics' secure online backup solution is a reliable way to back up important files. The most common reasons for not backing up are uncertainty about what needs to be backed up and how to do it reliably. Geekometrics provides a full-service managed solution with no storage limit. Geekometrics does all of the setup, configuring, testing, and monitoring. Your data is even safe when you travel with your Mac or PC laptop. Call 630-759-9283 to talk to a specialist who can help you keep your data safe. 630-759-9283. Geekometrics, helping you keep your data safe.
Tell me why Relief Factor is so successful in lowering or eliminating pain. I'm often asked that question. Pete and Seth Talbot, the father and son founders of Relief Factor, tell me they believe our bodies were designed to heal. That's right, designed to heal, and now I agree. The doctors who formulated Relief Factor for Pete and Seth selected the 4 best ingredients, 100% drug-free ingredients that each help your body deal with inflammation. That's correct. Each of the 4 ingredients deal with inflammation on a different metabolic pathway. That right there, approaching your pain from 4 different angles, may very well be why so many Americans find such wonderful pain relief. If you have back pain, shoulder, neck, hip, knee, or foot pain from exercise or even just getting older, you must order the 3-week quick start now. Discounted to only $19.95 to see if it will work for you too. I think it could. Give your body what it needs to heal itself. Go to relieffactor.com, call 800-500-8384. relieffactor.com.
Safer USA, Chicago's most trusted name in firearm training, is offering beginners classes, tactical pistol and rifle, long-range rifle to 600 yards, and the most comprehensive Illinois concealed carry program available. AM560 On Target Radio co-hosts David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz will prepare you to carry a firearm for personal protection, including firearm, holster, and ammunition selection. A comprehensive law review designed to keep you out of trouble and even how to deal with home invasions. Firearm, ammunition, holster, class notebook are provided. Safer USA and the Aurora Sportsman's Club invites you to participate in this one-of-a-kind Illinois concealed carry program that also qualifies you for Florida, Utah, and Arizona non-resident permits. Find out what over 6,000 students already know at saferusa.com.
Or call 815-741-3474. That's 815-741-3474. Safer USA. Choosing to own a firearm is your business. Teaching you to own it responsibly is ours.
If you have kids in school, then this past year has been a major wake-up call. All of a sudden, many of the things you once took for granted changed overnight. For many students, school is still happening mainly online, and for some school districts, that seems to be the way it'll be for a while. But that's not the case with many private schools. Most private schools have been in classrooms since last August, and students have been receiving a high-quality education from teachers who share your values. Do you want your child to suffer through another year of virtual learning? Now is the time to consider a private school, and the most affordable way to do that is through halfpriceschools.com. Right now, vouchers are available for 50% off the normal tuition for private schools across Chicagoland. Just go to halfpriceschools.com, search for a school near you, and purchase a voucher today. Then, prepare to send your child back to school this fall, in classroom, to a school that you can trust. Visit halfpriceschools.com today.
We now return to On Target Radio on AM560 The Answer. If you have a question or an opinion, share it with us at 312-642-5600. And now, debating, debunking, and discussing today's hot issues. Here are your hosts, David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz.
And we're back with more On Target Radio. So the story that I was telling before we were so rudely cut off is that I agreed to take a survey on Facebook, which I should not have done.
Boo.
And they started off asking questions about COVID and the vaccine. And then they started saying, like, do you think Facebook cares about its users? And I was saying, like, not really, basically.
No.
I mean, it was all multiple choice questions. And then, so I answered one of the questions, something like that of, I don't think Facebook cares about its users very much. And they said, why do you think that? And it was a free answer question. So this is what I said. Facebook has made some gestures towards being less biased, but the people running it are so liberal that they don't seem to be able to even admit their own bias. When you're as pervasive as Facebook and very biased toward one point of view, it's basically social engineering. So I figure it's only a matter of time until I get thrown in Facebook jail.
Did you write that before or after that firebomb hit your house?
Right.
It was before.
The Facebook drone just kind of flew over. And
Right, exactly.
That was it.
Zuckerberg sent the drone to my house.
Oh, boy. So the FBI, right? So they actually are now admitting that they have a search warrant, that they are breaking into privately owned computer networks. So privately owned computer networks are not like government networks. They're like networks where you work or where I work or even here at AM560 possibly. We don't know. And they claim they're doing that because there's this Microsoft Exchange software, which is basically email software, right? Yes. So a lot of companies have moved to Exchange on the web, which that's all okay, and there's no problems with that supposedly. But a lot of these companies that are running these older Exchange servers, there's a lot of vulnerabilities in them, and Microsoft has admitted these vulnerabilities. They've tried to get people to patch them, but sometimes people aren't super great at keeping their computers up to date. And Windows says you have to do updates, and everybody dreads that because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Well, these companies kept putting this off and putting it off, and now they have these problems because there's all these hackers that are out there trying to exploit these vulnerabilities. So under the guise of fixing these vulnerabilities for people. How nice of the FBI, right? We just got done talking about, the government and, the government, this is good for you. You need to do this. So on April 9th, the United States District Court for the Southern District of Texas approved a search warrant allowing the U.S. Department of Justice to carry out these basically hacks into the network. So what happens with these vulnerabilities is these passwords to get into these servers are published out on the internet somewhere. Right, and that's obviously a problem. We don't want that, but it happens. So the FBI is using those passwords to break into these computer networks and shut these malicious codes down, basically. But what else does that open the door for, right? Because right now it says that, all they're going to do is they're going to remove this web shell, which is the part of the malicious code that was previously discovered with the previously discovered password, and then they're going to quietly get out of your computer, right?
Yeah, sure.
If they'd fix something while they were in there, I would be all for it.
But they're doing this without the consent of the owner of the
Without
computer. They're not even
knowledge.
telling you.
But that's unheard of, except for the CIA collecting every phone call and every email in the world.
NSA.
But other than that,
it's so
that's
weird. Since when is the government in charge of babysitting private companies and their computers? I just don't understand that.
They're claiming that these botnets can be a bigger problem and shut down public utilities and all this, and it's for the greater good, and everybody has to kind of go along with it. But, to me, that's like,
I think we've heard that before.
When you're not able to be in court to defend yourself against something, this is kind of the same thing, right? You're not able to know that they're going and they're doing this. I mean, yeah, a phone call is not going to work as we've out, and the phone calls, hello, this is Microsoft, give me your money, and you got a computer virus, that kind of thing. I could just imagine, like, hi, this is the FBI, you have a computer virus. But I have seen internet service providers, though, they're able to track this kind of traffic on your computer, and I have seen them send notices out to companies and say, hey, one of your computers is infected. We're going to shut down your internet connection unless you fix this. And I think that would be a good way to approach
That's a little better.
Here's the thing. If they're looking at, they have a tip that somebody's going to dump 50 gallons of some poisonous thing into a water reservoir, seriously, do you want to look into Bob Hardware Store's computer to see if he's got it? I mean, this whole thing, if you've got somebody you think is doing something, you go to a judge, you get a warrant, and you just bust through the front door and you take out the equipment and you go and look at it. This gives them carte blanche to do anything they want.
Right. And again, they're claiming they're using it for good, but...
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, the CIA claims they don't listen to every email and phone call in the world that they collect. Well, we don't listen to it. Right. That's why you
no one's actually looking at it.
We just have this big database, never go through it or anything like that.
It's got to, you know what? It's just... I'm a Vietnam guy, and we never trusted the government to begin with. And people go, oh, well, after you're home a while, it'll get better. You'll feel okay again. No, it's gotten worse.
The red pill will
every
kick in.
year. It's gotten worse and worse. And I'm surrounded by people. If I so much as say robot or artificial intelligence, she goes into a frenzy.
Gosh, I lose my mind.
Oh, yeah. Nobody trusts the government anymore. Even the Democrats don't trust the government. Realistically, if you think about it, they don't trust him either.
No.
So
yeah, it's funny. Actually, we didn't get to mention it, but in that Tucker Carlson rant, he talked about Kamala Harris when she was campaigning, when Trump was still president. She said, no way I'm taking the shot if it comes from Trump. If Trump tells me to do it, I'm not doing it.
Exactly.
And now she's all gung-ho.
All right, we're going to have to take another break. When we return, we will get to Orland Park and also about fines to make up budget losses. All that more with On Target Radio. And you're listening to AM560, The Answer.
Did you miss the open enrollment this year? I can help you purchase a PPO health insurance plan all year long that eliminates the mandatory maternity coverage. This is Tom Marabali, and if you're 50 years old and are covered by the Affordable Care Act, you're paying for maternity coverage whether you want the coverage or not. The least expensive ACA PPO health insurance plan is $540 per month with a total out-of-pocket cost of $8,550 before your bills are paid at 100%. I can eliminate the mandatory maternity coverage and lower your monthly premium down to $273 per month with a total out-of-pocket cost of $2,500 before your bills are paid at 100%. That's a savings of $6,050 in total out-of-pocket cost per person with my lower deductible, and you save $267 per month with my lower premiums. For a free quote and to see if you qualify, call me, Tom Marabali, at 630-863-3477 at 630-863-3477.
Balance of Nature's fruits and vegetables in a capsule, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm a scientist and by all accounts a health and fitness nut. So I was looking for something that I thought might give me just a little bit more edge. And I've tried many things. And I'm very strict in terms of my diet, my exercise, my lifestyle. I'm pleasantly surprised, I must admit. I typically in the winter times have respiratory issues or colds, and this is the longest period I can remember where I haven't had one. My body is experiencing something that it's never had, and then knowing that the change is because I took Balance of Nature, and it's worth the money. That's all I can say. It's worth the money.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code Chicago.
It's almost time for the annual AM560 golf outing. And this year, AM560 is proud to partner with our friends at the 100 Club of Illinois to help them provide resources, financial support, access to training, and moral support to both the families of first responders killed on the line of duty and active duty first responders throughout the state of Illinois. When you purchase a foursome to join AM560 on Monday, June 28th at the Mistwood Golf Club in Romeoville, you'll enjoy a full day of golf, which includes lunch and either breakfast or dinner. But you'll also receive an AM560 marketing package, which includes 25 one-minute commercials to air on AM560 Monday through Friday between 5 a.m. and 10 p.m., along with a free digital marketing analysis. Book your tee time at 560theanswer.com/golf. That's 560theanswer.com/golf. Sponsored in part by PJN Tax Solutions, Here For You Home Care Services, BuyingRight.com, and by RickYale.com. You're listening to On Target Radio on AM560 The Answer with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life. To participate, call the studio at 312-642-5600.
And we're back with more On Target Radio. So, Orland Park, we kept promising we were going to talk about Orland Park, so here goes nothing. I kind of had a view of Orland Park as kind of maybe being a little bit anti-gun, a little bit liberal.
I think they were.
You know, they were. I thought, I always thought of Bolingbrook as being, more pro-conservative and Orland Park being kind of anti-conservative.
Their mayor is pretty conservative.
Well, yeah. So Orland Park, actually, I saw this article, and I had to reread it, make sure I read the headline correctly, but they are actually trying to decriminalize carrying guns in prohibited areas. So if you're asking, what does that mean, right? So what they've done is they've instructed, the village board has unanimously, actually, and that was another huge surprise, they unanimously approved an ordinance on April 19th that would make carrying a gun into a prohibited area like a bar or even a government building, which I was surprised they mentioned government building, being that they're the village government, an ordinance violation instead of the Class B misdemeanor that it would be under the state law. So there's a lot of controversy about that. They're claiming that it's home rule is the reason, is what's giving them the ability to do this.
Right.
However, and this is probably something we need to get our attorney involved in to answer this question, I remember that when we passed concealed carry, we said no more home rule gun laws.
Right.
But now this one is a little bit more, this one is actually more lenient. It's not adding complexity to it. It's taking it away. But does that fall in that same home rule category?
Yeah.
That's the question.
There are no gun laws in the state of Illinois other than those which were grandfathered in, and they had up to 10
pertaining
days
to handguns.
And they had up to 10 days to do an assault weapon ban.
Right.
After that. After that point, there are no more gun laws in the state of Illinois other than the state of Illinois.
Well, so this isn't a law, it's an ordinance, but I don't even think there could
code.
be. I don't think there could be ordinances though, or codes.
It's code. No. So you can't. The hierarchy works like this. You got federal law,
right,
and then you got state law. State laws can't contradict federal law,
right.
And then so county ordinances and codes can't override state laws. Now, this whole issue would have been easily resolved had the chief of police in one of the roll call meetings go, guys, as long as there's nothing going on, no big deal, and some guy screws up, just don't write it up.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and that would have accomplished the same thing without all this brouhaha.
Well, now they made it public, and the other part of the problem is that, so okay, you're in Orland Park, and you're carrying a firearm in a prohibited place under the concealed carry law, and an Orland Park officer comes in. Okay, well, if they're following what the village board wanted them to do, they're going to give you an ordinance violation, which is just a ticket.
Right.
You might not
It's
even
just
have
a
to go to
fine,
court. It's a
basically,
fine.
right.
But on the other hand, if Cook County shows up first,
Or the state.
They're going to follow county and state law.
And notice it says you can go into municipal buildings.
Well, right.
So now, if you go into a building,
Government buildings.
a government building, if you go to a government building where a state senator has his office and he knows, he'll call state police.
Well, right, exactly. And then you're getting that misdemeanor.
Exactly.
You're not getting the ordinance violation.
The thing that I see about this, now I think it's probably going to be struck down as unconstitutional, let's just be honest, but the thing that I like about this is, we talked about officer discretion. We're all familiar with that. But officer discretion doesn't give you the option to do something but something softer. It's basically
ignore,
pass or fail. It's it's either you write somebody for a misdemeanor, or and you arrest them, or you don't do anything. So I think that this is good because it gives them a middle choice of just writing them an ordinance violation, writing them basically a ticket, which is a small fine. It's going to be a much more modest fine than a Class B misdemeanor would be. So it's nice that it gives them a third option of what to do rather than all or nothing.
Well, the irony that the three of us would be having a not heated discussion, but a disagreeing discussion, is the fact that nobody in this room disagrees with the concept of if you go into a place like that, come on.
No.
Just give him a pass. Who cares?
Right. As long as, like you said, there's nothing else going on. I mean, now the Patch who covered this article originally actually turned around 46 minutes later, and a staff editor did a hit piece on it, basically saying that this
is just editorial garbage.
Basically a bunch of BS, and that legalizing a sandwich in a burning restaurant seems like a better idea. I'm like, okay, this is typical Patch expectations here.
Right. And then they hung Richard Pearson from the ISRA out to dry, which I think is unfair because he didn't even know that this was happening.
Yeah, and a lot of people, I don't know how many people actually read this because, the Patch is a liberal rag and not a lot of people read it.
It is a rag, yeah.
But if you read it and you looked at it and you saw this quote from Richard Pearson in here, you would think that, oh my gosh, another reason I'm not, screw the ISRA, I'm not joining now.
Right.
But I kind of feel, and I think Dave kind of backed me up on this, though, it was kind of taken out of context in a way. Well, he was kind of blindsided by it. I get it.
Yeah. And his point is you can't overrule a state law.
Right. Yes, he's right. And I'm going to go on record and say, I'm not a fan of what he said, but at the same time, I understand where it's coming from.
From a legal standpoint, he's probably correct.
Exactly.
But he didn't say.
Could have been better worded.
Right, exactly. He didn't say. A lawyer would say that city ordinance cannot supersede state law.
All right, we're going to have to take a break. When we come back, Gretchen, you have items?
I have many items.
We have many items when we return. So we'll be back with more of Gretchen's action items and more on Target Radio. And you're listening to AM560
The Answer.
Most drive to work, but a few drive to live. Whether you're dragging a peg on the Dragon's Tail or pushing 180 at the Monaco Grand Prix, there are two things you know. You're never letting anybody get out front, and Milwaukee Muscle will always have your back. High performance is in your blood, and now it's on your ride. Milwaukee Muscle's ceramic pre-soak quickly breaks down bug and road grime. The premium wash emulsifies dirt and grime while adding a layer of ceramic protection. Then top it with their ceramic, no buffing required premium wax for unparalleled surface protection. And nothing produces a higher gloss finish on your tires than Black Pearl Extreme Tire Shine. But the real pleasure is getting behind the wheel, and Milwaukee Muscle's interior detailer protects while making your ride look brand new. Milwaukee Muscle, the powerhouse in ceramic technology. Check out Milwaukee-Muscle.com. That's Milwaukee-Muscle.com. They've got your back so you can stay out front. That's Milwaukee-Muscle.com.
Hi, it's Sean Thompson. You've probably seen the stories that some big box retailers are caving under the pressure from the progressives, also known as neo-Marxists, to take MyPillow products off their shelf. By now, you've all heard me talk about MyPillow and how Mike has done it again by introducing his new My Slippers. Mike has taken over 2 years to develop. They are designed to wear indoors and outdoors all day long. My slippers are made from MyPillow foam and impact gel to help prevent fatigue, and made with quality leather and suede. I have the suede ones, love them. For a limited time, Mike is offering 40% off his new My Slippers. You can show your support for this great American company by ordering. Don't let cancel culture win. At MyPillow.com, you'll also find deep discounts on all MyPillow products, including the Giza Dream Bed Sheets, MyPillow Mattress Topper, and MyPillow Towel Sets. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listeners square, and use my promo code LIBERTY. Or call 800-489-0201, and don't forget to use my promo code LIBERTY.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM560 The Answer with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life. Stand by. Here's Gretchen with your action items for the week.
Join with Freedom Works and Illinois Conservative Union as we host Nigel Farage, Mr. Brexit, the man who lit the fire under one of the largest and most effective grassroots movements in history. What Nigel started with Brexit was amplified here in the United States with the election of President Donald J. Trump. The movement sparked fires of freedom across the globe. Let's come together to fire up America's Comeback Tour. This evening will remind us all one person can make a difference. America's Comeback Tour, an evening with Nigel Farage, Tuesday, May 11th at the Diplomat West in Elmhurst. Doors open at 6 p.m. Program begins at 7 p.m. The cost is $20 per person and includes appetizers. Please purchase tickets in advance at ticketbud.com. Due to limited seating, tickets may not be available at the door. I did put the link for those ticket sales on our Facebook page last week. Join On Target Radio at Red, White, Blue, and You, Sunday, May 16th from 1 to 5 p.m. at Kono Farm in Homer Glen. $25 per person or $40 per couple includes all-you-can-eat pizza from 1:30 to 3:30, live music, a car show, and Kono's children's play area. You may even be able to pose for a photo with Rosie the Riveter. Safer USA is now offering classes in Geneva, Waterman, and Bonfield. Saturday, May 15th, long-range rifle, taught by Ed Janka. Wednesday, May 19th, Illinois concealed carry renewal class, taught by David. Saturday and Sunday, May 22nd and 23rd, Illinois concealed carry 1. This 16-hour class will be taught by David and meets the training requirements for Illinois concealed carry as well as Florida and Arizona. To sign up for classes, go to saferusa.com and click on register.
We didn't really have time to get into the piece about raising fines and fees to solve budget problems, which I thought is an interesting piece. Just to throw something out, Orange County, California tripled the fee which they charge someone when their car is impounded for unpaid fines and fees. Georgia lawmakers increased fines to add more funding for jail officers, and New York City is projecting a $42 million increase ticketing revenue in its annual budget. Basically what's happening, and you found this, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
Basically what's happening is money's getting tighter because they spend more money than they make, and they're looking for alternative ways to boost up the revenue. And so it's typically the little guy that's getting caught. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Later in the article, it says punishing people because they don't have money is bad economic policy and one of the least efficient ways to raise money. And they point out the fact that, going after these people, whether legally, sending them to collections, it costs a lot more money to actually collect the money if you're trying to get it from people who just don't have money. And the reason I pulled this up is because, who has the most regressive fines and fees that we can think of around here? Chicago immediately popped in my mind as, they have long based their budget on fines and fees.
And red lights.
Yeah, parking tickets, red light tickets. I mean, from a fee standpoint or fine standpoint, it's one of the most regressive places you can go. It's another reason not to visit.
Yeah, I think you're right, and we're gonna have to take off. But one red light camera in the Lincoln Park area, one camera in 1 year made $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
What does that tell you?
Oh yeah, I mean it's like
Not
they took a
surprising.
page directly from the Illinois playbook.
Yeah,
and that's what we've been doing. We just keep taxing people.
Right, but it's like the old time debtors prison in London.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
In Charles Dickens era.
Could I have some more gruel, please?
We'd like to thank you for listening to On Target Radio. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Milwaukee Muscle and Geekometrics. Be sure to listen next week, when we'll be covering more red meat issues that affect your life.
And I won't forget my briefcase next time.
Hard drives fail. Viruses destroy data. Having a copy of your work, photographs, financial records, and other important files is one step in a thorough backup plan. Geekometrics offers a secure online solution by placing a copy of your data off-site where it's safe from theft, fire, and unauthorized access. Losing photos and financial information is devastating. Geekometrics' secure online backup solution is a reliable way to back up important files. The most common reasons for not backing up are uncertainty about what needs to be backed up and how to do it reliably. Geekometrics provides a full-service managed